And hey everybody, it's Brett and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing something that's very different for me. I am going to do a book tag video. I was tagged by Melinda at A Web of Stories on a tag that was created by Jessica's library card. So it's a Booktuber's Bio Tag. And I've never done one of these, so we'll see how it goes. So here we go. All right, so this book tag, the first question is, who are you? Share a little bit about yourself, as much or as little as you would like. So number two, all right, a little bit about me. My name is Brett Benner. I live in Los Angeles with my husband, sometimes my two kids. I have been with my husband for 30 years, married for 10. We have a son who is a junior in college. We have a daughter who is just graduating from high school, who will be going to college in the fall. We also have two dogs and a bearded dragon named Taco. My real job is as a casting director for television. I've worked on such shows that you might have seen as Scrubs, One Tree Hill, Last Man Standing, and now currently I am doing the show Shrinking for Apple TV. And so I live in Los Angeles for now. Eventually, I'm going to be moving and splitting my time between the Pacific Northwest and here where I am now, which is La Quinta, California, the desert. And this is my almost completed office with my almost completed bookshelves, which I'm really happy with. And I'm actually loving this space to do the interviews I do for Behind the Stack, which is another part of my thing. I have a podcast called Behind the Stack, and you've probably seen, if you've seen me at all, you've probably seen the author interviews also appear here as well. So that's about me. All right, the next question. How long have you been on BookTube? So long. Although I've been on YouTube and I've had this account for a long time, I've actively kind of been in the universe of BookTube for a couple years, although it hasn't been until the last two that I've begun to give it a lot more attention. And I will probably continue to do that as well. Number three, what kind of books do you love to read? I primarily am a litfic guy. I really love that, but I do like genre fiction as well. I like some mystery. I like thrillers. I love some sci-fi and speculative fiction. I'm not so much romance. I will try almost anything once. The only kind of things I really don't get into are romance. I don't get into the romantasy stuff very much. I've never been a poetry person, and sometimes I think I'd like to change that, but have not changed that. So for the most part, I like lit fic with some commercial fiction. Has BookTube had an effect on what you read? Do you know, I think what BookTube has done for me and the effect it's had on my reading is, like anything else, I think you start to generate towards people who share common interests that you do and common types of books. And for that, it's absolutely expanded my knowledge of people within that particular genre. For me, again, litfic. I don't know that it's made me want to seek out people and watch a whole video every week on the latest romantasy or sci-fi books. So again, I think it's what you seek out is what you get. And I think like seeks like a lot of times. What I find interesting though are booktubers like myself who do kind of push their own envelope and do introduce different things as well. And that's always a surprise to me because that sometimes introduces something to me that I think, well, if they liked it, then I might like it as well. Number four, what do you enjoy about making BookTube videos? I just enjoy this format much more. I spent the last 5 years really on Instagram, focused on Instagram. My problem with Instagram, as their formatting began to change and they were pushing for changes, I begin to not like it as much. And I found that I get much more feedback, and it becomes a much kind of more personal back and forth on this platform, just talking about books and being able to express stuff that aren't limited to 270 characters with just a picture. So that's why I enjoy this platform actually more. Number 5, what do you not enjoy about making BookTube videos? Probably the editing, just because it takes time. And I wish I was savvy, and I see some people that do this incredible stuff, and I just don't have the time. So that's the biggest thing. It's the time suck that is involved with editing. Number 6, what video on your channel are you the most proud of? I don't think there's one particular video. I mean, for me, I'm always surprised at what videos hit more and what videos rack up more views than the ones that don't. So I don't get attached to them that way. I have to say I'm really proud of the Behind the Stack podcast and the corresponding videos that go with it. The interviewing of the authors is, to me, such an education. It's always changing, and it's something I work harder than most things on, because I want to have good conversations, and I want the author to feel like their book has been sufficiently, adequately represented. And so I care about it a great deal. So those videos to me are some of the things that I am most proud of. Is there anything you wish was different about BookTube? No, not necessarily. Nothing that can be done. I mean, look, I hate algorithms. I like everyone else, everybody struggles to grow your channel. And sometimes I find it frustrating if the channel is not growing, and it makes you question, what am I doing? What am I not doing? Why does this person have more growth than I do? I think everyone falls into that trap. I think that's just generally the trap of social media. So that's the biggest thing, but there's nothing to do about it. So number 8, name 3 books that you have reviewed on your channel that you feel represent who you are as a reader. Oh my God, that's a great question. This is a really interesting question, and I keep thinking about it because I think in the time that I've been on here, the books that have most resonated with me are obviously my best of. So one of those would have to be Ben Shattuck's The History of Sound, which is such an incredible short story collection. It was my favorite book from last year. And the irony about this is I talk many times about how I don't always love short story collections. I'd rather just follow one narrative, because I find there's so many inconsistencies with short stories, and some of them are good and some of them aren't. But this collection is so superlative, and it has such a great kind of connecting thread that works through the whole thing. But I think it is such a kind of overlooked book. But everyone that I know that has experienced the book, whether it be reading it or listening to the audio, which is incredible, has really had a positive reaction to it. So that's one. Another book for me that is representative, I think Maggie O'Farrell's Hamnet is another book for me. I'm not always someone who likes historical fiction. However, this is such a beautiful, well-told story. It's incredible construction. The story is about the wife of William Shakespeare and losing their son, and Shakespeare being in such incredible mourning, he goes off and writes Hamlet. But it's not really about Bill, it's really about his wife. And it's an incredible book. So that would be another. And probably the last one for these purposes would be Ann Patchett's Tom Lake. And the reason I said that is, first of all, I love Ann Patchett, like so many people do. I think she's such an incredible writer. But this particular book had resonance to me because of the whole theater element of it. And it ties into Our Town, the idea of summer stock. That was my background. I was originally an actor. I went to Carnegie Mellon University. Theater holds such a particular place in my heart. And so the book had such a resonance for me. And so I think that would be the third. Number 9, name 3 booktubers whose content inspires you. Love this. I think the first is Simon Savage. It's Savage Reads. He was one of the first booktubers that I ever came across when I started to kind of really explore this platform. And I found him so immediately accessible and charming and funny and witty, and had such great taste. And still do. And I find he always finds interesting things that I haven't even heard of yet. I think part of what is appealing to me is some of the booktubers that I really have dug have been over the pond. And I love that because our release schedules are so different, and they're getting some things before we do, and I'm hearing about them, and vice versa. And they're getting access to writers that we don't always get here in the States right away. So, and in line with that, I also have really, really, really enjoyed Ben Reads Good. What I love about Ben is beyond being so smart and having wonderful taste, and I love so many of the books that he responds to. Also, frankly, just love his whole bearing. And I love the sound of his voice. He's just amazingly charming, very easy to listen to. And so, yeah. And the last one is Jalen Lopez, The Bar and the Bookcase. And Jalen doesn't post as much as he used to because he now has a publishing job. But Jalen was one of the people, honestly, kind of the forefront of people to me who inspired me. I've never even said this to him, but inspired me to want to do a podcast and want to do a book podcast because his Reading the Room podcast, I was so amazed at what he was accomplishing and these conversations that he was having. And I thought, I really, really, really want to do that. And I want to be able to have conversations with authors the way he does. And he's just incredibly thoughtful and smart. Again, has exceptional taste. Not that everything he likes I necessarily do or have, but I do find that his choice of books will challenge me sometimes, and I appreciate that. So those are probably the 3 people. All right, folks, that's it. A little bit more about me, probably more than you even wanted to know. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see y'all soon.